Welcome to episode 2 of JA Nova Scotia's World of Choices Hands-On Horizons series. This is a two-part series that will explore the workings of some hands-on, in-demand trades. We would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Mi'kmaq, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people, where our relationship is based in peace and friendship. We also acknowledge the people of African descent have been in Nova Scotia for over 400 years, and we honor those ancestors who came before us to this land. Our World of Choices virtual program is an interactive series that equips Nova Scotian students in grades 8 through 12 with the skills and knowledge they need to be better prepared for their future. Youth learn from passionate career mentors about the opportunities available in a variety of skilled trades roles. The Hands-On Horizons series will introduce you to two incredible speakers who will share their education, expertise, and experiences around their careers and what inspired their choices. Today's guest is Antonia Bown. Antonia works at Irving Shipbuilding and is a Red Seal Welder. The shipbuilders of Irving Shipbuilding have constructed over 80% of Canada's Navy at sea today. Work is now underway building the next generation of combatant vessels, including Arctic and offshore patrol ships and river-class destroyers. This initiative is creating jobs, fostering innovation, while also supporting small businesses and promoting inclusivity, particularly for veterans and underrepresented groups. So, I just want to start. Just give us a rundown of what your role is and what you do in a day.
Well, it seems as of late it's a lot. But as you said, my name's Antonia Bown. I work at Irving Shipyard. I've been here for almost 8 years. I
Amazing.
got my Red Seal back in 2020.
Great.
Um, I went to NSCC and Acrely, took the
Hmm.
two-year diploma program, and I basically welded in every part of the yard. So I've worked on the new build and the refurbished side. I'm currently working in the ship repair, which would be working on the older class ships, the HMCS class. And I'm currently working on the Halifax. So day to day, it depends. I could walk in here and I could be welding,
Hmm.
or I could walk in here and be doing a shop steward role. Uh, yeah, so it all depends.
Awesome. Sounds very dynamic. Is this what you always thought you would do?
No, before going back to school, I was actually a bus driver. I
Oh,
worked
wow.
at Halifax Transit. I was there for almost 8 years. No, that does not mean I'm on my end of my welding career. Um,
Just a
uh,
coincidence.
just a coincidence. I seen an ad for Women's Unlimited, and
Nice.
I took the 14-week exploration program. They had teamed up with Irving Shipyard to
Mhm.
do a pathways program and to get women in the trades. So they
Awesome.
were looking at just the metal trades, so either
Mhm.
metal fabrication or welders. They
Okay.
were looking for 15 welders and 5 fabricators.
Wow.
So I'm pretty good at math. I figured my chances of getting in as a welder were quite easy.
Yeah,
Um, so I went for it, and yeah, I'm glad I did. I wouldn't look back.
that's incredible. Always take a chance, right? At least you learned something and you found your calling. That's the thing. It's 8 years as a bus driver. Sometimes you can be in a role and think that's your thing, and then you see something and then you're like, wow, this is actually my calling. Other than the main Women's Unlimited program and the training, has there been any additional training or experience that's been beneficial to your success?
Yeah, so I would say the NSCC diploma program, it's needed.
Hmm.
The 2-year program to me is a great pace. There is a 9-month program, and it's basically the 2 years in the 9-month portion.
Wow.
It can be done. I'm
Hmm.
not saying that it can't be. I just know from my personal, I couldn't have done it in going from school, not being in school. I think it was almost 10 years before I went
Yeah,
back to school. So, like, being out of school for over no, it would have been longer than that, maybe 15.
that's an
Either way,
adjustment.
I was out of
Yeah.
school for a very long time. Going back to school, was definitely a change. At the time,
Hmm.
I had a young of not 13-year-old, and going back to school with her young,
Yeah.
um, was a challenge. So I can only imagine what it would have been like to do it in 9 months as opposed to 2 years.
Oh, absolutely. So while you were doing school and also now with your job,
can you talk a bit about work-life balance for your job?
Yeah, so I'm work-life balance is busy.
Mhm.
I now have a 2-year-old,
Wow,
so my
congratulations.
daughter the math I was that was math there. My daughter's actually 19 now, and then my son's 2.
Okay.
So getting off work at 4 and
Mhm.
beelining to his daycare before 5:30 in Waverly can be challenging, but it's
Oh gosh.
rewarding to know that I get my evenings with them.
Mhm.
I work Monday to Friday, 7:30 to 4.
Nice.
I choose to work the weekends if I want to.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I love it.
Awesome. So it's a flexible schedule then based on your preference, or is it more of like a rotational thing from Irving?
So you can put in to work the day shift, which is either 7 to 3:30 or 7:30 to 4,
Okay.
or you can put in for the nights, which is 4:30 to
Mhm.
1,
Wow.
or there's the back shift, which is 12 to 7:30.
Wow.
Now, if they don't have enough people to put in on any of the other shifts, they can
Mhm.
force you to be
Right.
on one of the other shifts. They can only
Mhm.
do that once a year, and it
Okay.
can only be for 4 weeks at a time. Some
Not so
people
bad.
get forced to go on the shift that they weren't on and end up
Mhm.
staying. So
There you
sometimes it
go.
works out better for people. There are benefits to working nights and overnights.
Sure.
Um, 25% extra money,
Oh,
and then
wow.
35% for the back shift. So there's a little bit of an incentive, but it's not enough incentive for me.
Fair enough. Yeah, I feel like there's a point some people can go all night and then other people you hit a line. So, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
no,
nice that
thank
at
you.
least it's a little bit of a break there. You're not just stuck on a shift for an entire year or 2 because I know some jobs do that. So that's fantastic.
No, you can definitely go back and forth. The capability is there to go back and forth. It just might not always happen exactly when you put in the request, but they're
Right.
pretty good at getting your request put through.
Awesome. So you mentioned, of course, there were 15 welders and 5
Fabricators.
fabricators.
Yep.
And so, what's the current demand for those roles in Nova Scotia?
I would say here at Irving Shipyard, it's definitely high,
Mhm.
especially in the welding. I think we're having a hard time getting welders here in the yard.
Okay.
There's definitely vacancy for welders and metal fabricators.
Yeah.
So the time is now. I mean, the youth are here. They're getting ready to graduate, some of them.
Yeah.
Why not take a trade? I mean, it's I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's probably the most rewarding. The most My most favorite thing about being a welder is that I instantly know if I did a good job or not. I don't have to wait for, something to be submitted and then it come back.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there are some things that I weld that have to be x-rayed or tested a little bit
Sure.
more deeper. But for
Mhm.
the most part, I can tell if it's going to pass, fail, or if, oh, geez, I don't know. That
Right.
kind of went in a little bit off. But even in the metal, like the metal fabrication side,
Mhm.
you can tell if you put something in straight, crooked, or if there's too
Yeah.
big of a gap. Um, you instantly know that you've done a good job once you're done
Awesome.
the job.
And does that just come from experience? Is that training, a combo of both? What's like sort of the hands-on perspective of that?
So I would say it's a little bit of both. You don't stop learning. When I was in school, I mastered all of the projects that were in school. But
Mhm.
once you get on the floor here and you're building a big, scary ship that's going to, need to carry people, that's going to end up being people's home and carry them for months on end.
Right.
Um, it adds a little bit of uh-oh to it. But and then it's a whole change of environment. You got
Yeah.
loud noises going on around you. There's a
Mhm.
lot of movement of people. When you're in the shop at school, it's calm. It's loud still, but it's totally different from
Of course.
being here at the yard. But I would say that you never stop learning. I'm
Mhm.
currently working on penetrations and working with stainless a lot. So
Okay.
these are like metal tubing that range in size, and I'm required to either squeeze into a space where I can barely shift my arms around and but still be able to weld immaculately. So it's a learning curve
Hmm.
to just be able to like change from a right hand welding to left hand welding, or to only be able to hold the gun with my left hand and get the job done, or to only be able to see it in my left eye. So not a lot of people can do that. Not it's a learning curve, and you always are constantly learning. You have to lean on your peers that have maybe done it
Hmm.
before. A
Yeah.
lot of my projects I end up having to work with mirrors, so you're
Oh,
working backwards. um yeah
interesting.
yeah, so I would say I'm always learning. There's always something new.
That's awesome. So what would you say would be your most challenging? I mean, you listed off a few, but what was the hardest that you've done so far?
I would probably say learning how to weld through a mirror.
Yeah,
And then if you set two mirrors up, you can it's almost like welding normal. But
fair.
you
I know what
gotta
you mean.
be able to have enough room to set two mirrors up and still see
Right,
them and see the joint. So I would say that is probably the hardest part of my job currently. There
right.
are a lot of welders here that have never welded with mirror, that would
Okay.
just pick up a mirror and go, "Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll somebody else can do that job."
Okay, so it's not mandatory to learn mirror welding, but
It's not mandatory, but if you can do it, it's an asset.
awesome. No, that's good to know. What other advice would you give to youth that are interested in pursuing the programs in these roles?
Besides taking programs like this, I would
Yeah.
say rely on the people that you get introduced to through these programs. They
Mhm.
tend to become your allies, and don't be afraid to ask questions, and reach out to us allies, because in my career, I've reached out and stuck by a lot of people I've met throughout the way, and they have helped me get forward in my career. So I would say stick to it. If it's something you want to do and you don't feel like it's working out,
Mhm.
just give it your best go. It's okay. It's okay to fail.
Yep.
It's okay to not like it. But just if you like it, you love it, stick with it.
Amazing. Awesome advice. Antonia, thank you so, so much for joining us today. Really.
This is the second of a two-part series, so please visit our YouTube channel and check out the first video featuring Ryan Boudreau from Eastward Energy. We hope this and all our other videos will leave you with a deeper understanding of the variety of trades careers available to you. We would also like to thank our national community partner, RBC, as well as our national supporting partners, Amazon, Avanade, Coca-Cola, Imperial, and KPMG. And our local supporting partner, Education and Early Childhood Development, Government of Nova Scotia.